Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 18th of April. My name is Philip Kingston.
And I'm Daniel Fisher.
Daniel Fisher or Dan Fisher or Fish? What is the preferred... What way do you introduce yourself?
I like Dan. Daniel if I'm in trouble, which is becoming more frequent these days, but I like Dan.
And what about Fish? Because that's often talked around the office. Where's Fish?
That is the go-to probably since I was a youngster. So Fish, Fisher, Dan, I'll apply to anything.
Okay, so this is the first time we've had you on GPTV.
It is.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Making my debut, long awaited. So
fantastic.
Thank you.
You are making your debut like a fresh Carlton player because you're a Carlton supporter, I believe.
Unfortunately, die-hard tragic. So you take the good with the bad as a Carlton supporter.
What happened on the weekend?
Adelaide were just way too good and a pleasure to watch. So chin up Carlton supporters, we'll get there. Now
viewers, for those of you that haven't met Dan Fisher, Fish or Daniel Fisher, you must have been living under a rock because how many years have you been part of the GPA team?
As of 2 weeks ago, 15 years.
Incredible. So 15 years.
Since I was a baby.
Most of the GPTV watchers would have met you out and about, but correct me if I'm wrong, and of course I'm not wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong, you are part of the Darren Krongold, Sally Zellman, Daniel Fisher, Joel Sir, powerhouse, premier prestige team.
That is correct, and an honour and a privilege to be part of the team.
So you've done the journey with us, haven't you? Because you came to us as a very young guy, and you've worked your way through the ropes. And we've got an important and exciting announcement coming around and about you in weeks to come.
Yes.
But you've really emerged over the last couple of years, of which I'm very proud about. Tell us about your journey.
I was taken off the golf course as a 20-year-old by Gary, who took me out of commerce and decided not to finish university and fell into the family, which is the Gary Peer team. And it's just evolved from there. So it's been a great journey, of which you've been a big mentor and a role model. So it's been a wild ride and have loved every minute of it.
It has been an amazing ride, but over the last few years, you've certainly emerged as a senior player within the industry, listing and selling properties from anywhere from as little as $350,000 to, I think, your highest property that you've brought into the business and successfully sold was a property in Howard Road.
Yes,
correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, that was about 6.8. So exciting sale. I think that was our highest auction sale ever for a house.
It probably was actually 6.8. Not our highest priced home, but our highest priced property sold at auction in the luxury home space. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And also viewers, if you don't know, you got married this year.
November.
Was it November?
It was.
Is it that?
I know.
Wow.
And yesterday, which would be Monday, was actually a year since I got engaged. So it's been a lovely journey. So I'll give a shout out to my wife, Zoe, who will probably be embarrassed, but does deserve a shout out. And
she definitely deserves a shout out, but she also, a very clever woman, your wife, because she grew up in a real estate family and realised in order to replicate her happy family, she needed to marry into a real estate family. So,
and a Carlton family, so that's a big tick box there.
So shout out to your lovely wife, Zoe, and good luck. You'll very rarely see him. That's why we've got him on GPTV, which is really just a shout out to you. And a quick photo now of you celebrating your wedding.
Actually, you took a few good photos, so one of them might be yours.
I did.
Thank you.
Anyway, great to have you, obviously, as part of the team.
Thank you.
And great to have you on GPT for the first time. Viewers, a massively quiet week in Melbourne real estate. And as we head towards the winter months, we're obviously just had Easter, we've now got school holidays. So much has been going on in Melbourne, long weekends, we've got Anzac Day coming up. So April has not been a great month for real estate agents in terms of volume. Having said that, we had 4 auctions on the weekend,
we did.
Which is about a lower number as I think we've ever had.
You must have been bored.
Well, I had Saturday. It's a good point, actually. I had Saturday off, but I did work on Sunday. But it's interesting. I had Saturday off, and I mean, I enjoy my leisure time, but it was kind of extraordinary because that's what normal people do. They have all Saturday off, they have all Sunday off, and when you have it off,
Irene must have. She struggled probably having you around so much.
She goes a bit crazy. There's no question. How do you find the downtime during these times?
I don't do well with my time off because I feel bad if I'm not working, but that's probably a psychological thing that
Well, I
I'll
think
have
that's
to.
conditioning from Darren Crongold
It is.
more than anything.
It's but no, having the football on's a nice time to pass the time. But I was busy at Open for Inspections, which are actually really busy this weekend, surprisingly, given the weather.
So it's interesting, isn't it? And we'll come back to that. So we had 4 auctions. We sold 3 out of 4. The 4th is underway as we speak for a 75% clearance rate, which is against the industry average of 71. Viewers, we'll come back to your point in a moment, but there was an article in the Fin Review last week about how they're calling, a lot of economists, a lot of bankers are now calling really the month of April the bottom of the market. They're starting to call price rises across all of the capital cities. We've been saying this for a while. We're going to look back at 2023 as the year you could have bought, should have bought, would have bought, and maybe didn't. But the market is starting to move. I can feel it.
It was interesting. If you have a look at our inspections, apartments had massive numbers.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing that across the board that given the rent increases, and it's probably cheaper to buy for first home buyers, apartments have really come back in demand.
It is interesting, isn't it? Because with the rental prices going up so dramatically, and we're seeing across our property management business, we're seeing rental increases of anywhere from 10 to as much as 30% on the relets. And there are a number of first home buyers are now saying, look, not only are we struggling to find a property, but we are now at that tipping point where it is cheaper for us to seriously consider buying an apartment instead of renting it. As interestingly, I was out with a young woman, who was my niece, by the way, on Sunday night, and she was talking to me about how difficult it is to find a house in which to rent. She said a couple of years ago it was pretty easy, but now it's increasingly difficult. So we are starting to see the whole momentum shift. Been a buyer's market for the last 12 months. I think if you don't buy something soon, you are going to miss the jump in the market. And when that jump arrives, you've seen it many times over the journey. It happens like that, doesn't it?
It's a very good indicator. Land's always my benchmark, and I always think of South Caulfield as a benchmark. As soon as the market recovers, that spikes very quickly, and we've seen a few sales of late that were probably 10% down in the last 6 months, and now the demand's come back. So
Interestingly, we sold an apartment, viewers, at number 503 Orong Road in Armidale, which is in a building which is one of our favourite buildings at Gary Peer and Associates, because we've sold most of the building, only 2 apartments per floor. This was a 5th level apartment, completely original, completely unrenovated, very habitable though. Beautiful building. We had 4 people bidding for that. So, you know, you get your property right, you get the pricing right. There are buyers out there, and I think really it's now a time to be a buyer because the market will shift. And again, as we've mentioned, when the market jumps, it just doesn't jump by a couple of percent. One day we come back into the marketplace and it's jumped by 10 or 15%.
And I think people are realising they want to get back into the market, get on with their lives, and that doom and gloom's kind of gone, and there's a lot of positivity out there from buyers.
Well, the key indicators, viewers, as we've always said, is the employment numbers. Employment numbers are coming through very strongly. So whilst people are in employment, no fear of losing their job, that is clearly a key indicator for us, and the employment numbers are great. It looks like interest rates have now either levelled out or are preparing for maybe a small further increase, but it won't be long because everybody's talking about interest rates coming down. So that's the second key performance indicator. The third key performance indicator, which is definitely turning green as in positive, is immigration. And immigration set to come roaring back. So we've got pressure on the rental market, we've got full employment, we've got interest rates now levelling out, and immigration coming back into this country. All of those key performance indicators are starting to turn green. You heard it, we said it, take advantage of it or not, but I think we're all going to look back on this year very positively and saying we called it.
We're excited.
So let's talk about the weekend that's coming up, because we've got a handful of auctions and some really good ones. Let's jump into talking about those. Saturday at 10:30, Gary has auction honours at 22 at 27 Dramana Avenue in Bentley East. Tell us about this beauty.
Beautiful 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, double garage townhouse in the McKinnon zone. Should go well, good real estate.
Anything in the McKinnon zone is just a real bonus. And viewers, at some point, will do a GPTV story on how the schools dictate the property market, but certainly anything in the McKinnon zone is worth looking at, either for an owner-occupier or, of course, an investor. Also at 10:30, Jeremy Rosens has got auction honours at apartment number 3 at 11 Hartington Street in Elstonwick.
Great ground floor apartment there, beautiful location. I have the privilege of going up a couple streets away, so good location, good apartment, that should go well.
No one knows that spot better than you do, but it's walking distance to the fabulous Glen Huntly Road, also walking distance to Martin Street and Martin Street Gardenvale, also Martin Street in Brighton, just the most fabulous area. We've got a fabulous auction at 11:30, where I've got auction honours at number 24 Odessa Street. And if you don't mind, Fish, I'm going to talk about this.
Please.
It is the most gorgeous single-fronted Victorian terrace in a row of similar terraces. Odessa Street is a great location. This is a very livable 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home with potential off-street parking at the rear. It is a stunning property. Live in it now or further update and further improve. You cannot go wrong. Also at 11:30, we've got Matthew Morley's got auction honours at apartment number 6 at 125 Cambrook Road, Caulfield North. Take us through that.
I still remember selling in that block 15 years ago when I started. Good size apartments, good access to public transport, either good first home buyer territory or good investing.
It is, and we've got the redevelopment of the Caulfield Racecourse.
Have you been to that new supermarket? It's actually really good. The new Coles really nice.
It is. So you're walking distance from that apartment building to the train station, the tram line, the redevelopment that's going to take place at the racecourse, Caulfield Park, and that new supermarket. Viewers, if you haven't checked out the Coles supermarket at the East Caulfield new Coles supermarket, you should. It's pretty incredible if you're into supermarkets, and I don't mind a Saturday evening at Coles, or Woolworths, of course. At 12:30, Jeremy Rosen's got auction honours at number 74A Spray Street, Elwood, which looks incredible.
Beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom townhouse there. Obviously, Elwood, Spray Street, best location in Bayside, you would say?
And Spray Street. And of course, Elwood is an incredible suburb. This is a fabulous property, architect designed, and also that you've got the incredible Ormond Village on your doorstep. Walk out your front door, you've got a choice of about 20 cafes. 12:30, I've got auction honours at number 216 Hawthorne Road in Caulfield North. Viewers, a fabulous land opportunity, also a very lovely period home. Having said that, may well be sold before auction, so stay tuned.
Watch this space.
1:30, I've got auction honours with Glenn Bricker at home number 4 at 21 Hodder Street in Brighton East. This looks incredible.
This is a great single level unit. Again, I've sold on this block. It always goes well. Beautiful location there. Also had the privilege of walking past there every day as a kid, being a Gardenvale primary boy. So but just around the corner, that should go well.
And a good school, Gardenvale. And again, coming back, we will do something on the schools in another GPTV edition. But that is a great property, and finding something single story that is as good as new is always difficult. I've got auction honours, Fish, at 3:30 at number 1 Omar Street, which is an incredible property. I love, and I know you love, these solid brick homes from the 1980s. Tell me, what do you love about this house?
I actually know this house well because I used to know the original owners. Great size, beautiful rooms, great pocket there at Omar Street, runs off Hawthorne and Kooyong, depends which way you want to come. So centrally located to a lot of good amenities in the area, Princess Park, which Ajax will be playing there this weekend. So get down there on Saturday.
Get down there and watch our sponsored club.
That's it.
You've got the tram on your doorstep. You've got Princess Park on your doorstep.
You do.
You've got houses in that street which have $2, $3, $4 million homes.
Correct.
And this is a house that you can move straight into, not spend a cent, but you can also further improve it. So there's a lot of potential. It's a real resort style property.
Correct.
On Sunday, who can believe we've only got one auction on Sunday, and that is home number 2 at 12 Bundeera Road, where I have auction honours. Tell us about this.
Another great single level unit, 3-bed, 2-bath, double lock-up garage, great real estate, so should go well.
These single-storey villas in South Caulfield, which were generally built in the 90s and into the early 2000s, they are amazing value, viewers, because they sit on land where you wouldn't get the same permit to be able to build what is there, and to be able to find these properties, they're really good buying.
Great entry level for, if you're a young home buyer with one kid or a downsizer, there's a lot of tick boxes
Professional couples, 1.2 to 1.4 is where that one will sit, or 1.25 to 1.35. That is a fabulous property. Couple of feature properties, Daniel Fish, and this is a home that's close to your heart because you've had the pleasure of being there for the last couple of weekends.
I have.
Tell us about this super sexy 70s 20 Crottenhurst Avenue home.
If you like mid-century architecture, it doesn't get any better than this. It's got a really good floor plan, solid as a rock, beautiful orientation in the back garden there, swimming pool. So there's a lot of great tick boxes here, with a lot of opportunities to improve it, but a great spot, Crottenhurst Avenue. Doesn't get any better than this in terms of real estate, in my opinion. Good 720 square metres.
I agree. And if you think about, we've seen these homes renovated, and honestly, they are probably the style of architecture of this home responds the best to refurbishments and renovations. Because you can spend a little, you can spend a lot, but they are the coolest homes in the marketplace. So when we talk about mid-century, viewers, we're really talking about 50s, 60s and 70s style architecture, and this is on the cusp of 60s and 70s.
Correct.
But it is just a beautiful home, and north-facing and land, and of course Crottenhurst is one of the best streets of Caulfield North. We've also got a fabulous property that your team is also looking after, which is home number 1 at 34 to 44 Regent Street in Elstonwick. Take us through this home.
Beautifully located in Elstonwick off Glen Ira Road and Glen Huntly Road. Great access to everywhere you want to be. This is one of the brightest townhouses. I've been through this several times, and the natural light coming here is beautiful. Great room sizes, really good real estate.
And Regent Street, viewers, if you have forgotten, is the home of one of the blocks.
Yes.
Where we actually set that whole process up for the block, and we're involved in the block. But Regent Street comes off Glen Ira Road and effectively ends up, even though technically it doesn't, but effectively it ends up at Glen Huntly Road, Elstonwick. So you can walk from there to the Classic Cinema on a Saturday night, and your choice of cuisine in Glen Huntly Road. Glen Huntly Road just gets better and better. Train station, tram line, shops, you've got everything on your doorstep. So great property. Viewers, a little bit about Dan Fisher. Not only has he been with us for 15 years, but he is one of the sartorial leaders of our organisation. Tell us about this little number that you're wearing.
This is a recent acquisition from our tailors at P. Johnson. Nice shout out there. So the boys look after us, and I think you and I probably spend a bit too much time there together.
So we do have an acquired taste, which unfortunately is rather expensive. But if you are in the market for a new sports jacket or a new suit, ring Dan Fisher or ring I, because no doubt we'll be at P. Johnson when you call.
And hopefully now that we've given them a shout out, thanks Tom and Andrea and Leo, we get looked after this week when we go.
Yeah, can you make sure that you call them after this to watch this episode?
We'll send it to them.
That the team at P. Johnson remember to discount our clothing, because goodness knows we're essentially working full time just to afford these beautiful threads. Dan, great to have you on GPTV. You are a natural.
Thank you. Look, I've been aspiring this for a long time to be beside you, and it's been great. Always never been a big cameraman, but something I'd like to do more of.
Well, it's been a joy having you work with the team for this 15-year journey, and the good news is you're really just getting started, but you are doing so phenomenally well.
Thank you.
And as I say, shout out to your team, which is led by you, Joel, Darren and Sally, and we've got a whole crew around you that is just enabling you to really prosper and move forward.
And I couldn't do what I do, because I also said I'd give her a shout out to Eliza, who pretty much runs all of our lives and the campaigns we do. So I did promise her a shout out.
Yep, and just to back that up, also Maz, who is doing amazing things. So that team, and just to finish it off, we have 2 campaign coordinators, Eliza, that has been with the team for a very long time. We've also got Maz, who is just the most superb calm
Correct.
operator. But you're ably supported by Idan, who is an emerging talent without
Handpicked
question.
him out of school, and we probably corrupted him from a young age not to go to university, but he's kicking great goals.
But doing great things. Ably backed up by Reno, who
Correct.
has recently joined the team, came out of our property management department. We've got Kevin, who is doing incredible things and also has an advantage on the rest of us that he speaks fluent Mandarin.
Better than both of us.
We've also got Izzy, who
Correct.
brings a really energetic female approach to the business. And that is just, I think Sally's mentoring her as the emerging force within that organisation. But it's a big team.
It is.
And it's a really, really obsessed team.
It's a little family.
Well, it's an obsessed team about just doing the best possible things for all of our clients, and we're loving it. So again, thanks for coming on board.
Pleasure. Thanks
Congratulations, because you just hit your 6-month mark on your marriage.
Yes.
And as far as I'm concerned, all feedback is that it's going well. Wonderful episode of GPTV. If you're wondering where Gary is, well, where would he be? If he's not at the races, if he's not at golf, or he's not on holiday, who knows what he's doing? He does work occasionally.
He checks in on us every now and then, which is nice of him.
He does.
I'm sure he'll be watching from close by.
Thanks for watching GPTV. Another great week in real estate as we head towards the market strongly recovering. My name's Philip Kingston. Have a great week.
I'm Daniel Fisher. Thanks for watching.